NDC stands for the National Distribution Centre. To give you some idea of what we're involved in here, we actually deliver 150,000 cubic metres of product per year. That entails delivering to over 4,000 customers. The product range we're talking about, in tools, you're talking about over 1,000 different powered tools. And then you've got the backup accessories to that, which is around about 3,500 product lines. We need good teamwork to actually make that work and make it happen.
Products arrive at Black & Decker's National Distribution Centre from all over the world. But before goods can be put into the computer-controlled high bay storage system, they have to be unloaded and checked in the goods inwards area. Safety is a key issue here.
There's a clamp underneath that holds the trailer in place so the driver cannot pull the trailer off while we are actually unloading it. So if we've got a green light in here, it's safe for us to unload. If we've got a red light or a flashing light, we cannot unload it because the clamp is not on properly. It's the same as traffic lights. Red, green means go, red means stop. If you get a pallet that is damaged, but it's inside the pallet, to save you stacking it, you can actually put a pallet on top of this one or a 2-metre pallet, depending on what you've got. And you put a pallet on top and you can actually put it in there and flip the whole unit over, which saves you having to restack the whole pallet. So that is now ready to go on the line and go in the system. We have to be aware of where people are at all times and very careful. And so we hope the pedestrians are the same, that they will look out for the fork trucks and be aware of them running around.
People do not understand how much simpler it is for them to stop than it is for a fork truck to stop. When you've got a load on a fork truck, you can have 2 ton of machinery moving, and it's very easy for a person to stop. It's much more difficult for the fork truck to stop.
After checking, the pallet is ready to proceed to the high bay store. Laurie Cleland describes its route.
It's put onto the P&D spurs, which will go down to the identification point to actually be punched into the computer to actually be put into the warehouse itself. When we get to the identification point, the lad there will actually punch the numbers, etc., of the product and the shipment numbers onto the VDU to keep track of the pallets in question.
I'm going to punch in now to identify the product. So all I've basically got to do is to identify the actual product is what it says on this docket. Punch in the details. Having agreed that what I've punched in is the correct details, I press 2 to confirm it. Hopefully the pallet should go into the high bay, all going well.
The warehouse itself consists of 27,000 locations. It is divided into 8 crane aisles. We have 5 cranes that work amongst the aisles. The warehouse itself is 22 metres high. It's very important that the pallets are properly prepared before they actually enter the warehouse. When I say prepared, I mean neatly wrapped, tightly wrapped. The pallet itself could get caught and fall from a great height. And if the pallet was to get damaged on the top level, that means somebody's got to visit that level, i.e. somebody's got to climb up the crane ladder. Basically, it is a dangerous environment in the sense that you've got automated equipment running. They're not intelligent, so they don't know if people are stepping in front of them. I am one of the authorised personnel that is allowed to come into the high bay, so if anybody wishes to come into the high bay, I have to come in and escort them around. We can't have people just walking around, walking into aisles, could you? Not very acceptable.
The pallets are stored here until they are needed. When a customer orders an item, the computer automatically sends a crane to retrieve the goods. These are then passed to the picking area.
This is the point where all the pallets actually come out from. This will go to all the picking stations, or directly on bulk pallets will go directly to the trailers themselves. When it goes to the pick stations themselves, the jobs are actually on the VDUs, and the pickers will actually determine what to pick, how to pick it, etc. onto a pick spur.
This is actually for our Warrington depot, XW. When the pallet comes in, we have to check the screen to make sure it's the right product coming in. We should have allocated a spur pallet, which he has, number 2, to put the goods on. This is a slightly heavier box, so we always use 2 people if it's heavier. We get large items of stuff coming in, which is too heavy for 1 person, so we've got to have 2 people to lift correctly, so there's no back problems.
Because of the amount of automation, because we actually move product to people rather than asking people to move the product, we don't have the traditional back and upper limb injuries that you would associate with warehouse. I guess our biggest problem is that we use a lot of the Stanley knife. 40% of the accidents reported within NDC are attributed to cuts with Stanley knives.
We've got to make sure we actually cut away from ourselves. It's got a hold on it, so we're going to cut away from ourselves with a safety issue. But he's tidied the pallet up now, so if the job's actually finished, it can go back into the warehouse. And it's got to be very tidy. It's got to be all tucked in and everything, so it doesn't reject at our ID points.
It's obviously important for the people working on picking to do their job correctly, i.e. make sure that the boxes are tidied and wrapped up properly, because later on when they actually enter the high bay and picked up by a crane would cause problems later. It means more visits by the technicians into it.
So we're going to send this pallet now to marshalling. I shall mark on what the shipment it is. So for our Warrington depot, XW. The tickets must now be placed on this side. So the checker, when it's coming down the line, you can see what shipment number it actually is then. So wrap the pallet as well, make sure it's nice and secure.
Wherever you've got automated machinery, then you've got dangers, because what happens? People tend to be complacent with it. You always think you know what's going to happen next. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. People tend to try and beat the system, and sometimes beating the system is bypassing some of the safety rules and regulations.
So it should be nice and secure now, so it's once it's travelling down the line, it won't collapse and fall onto the rollers, which will cause a few problems. I'll send this pallet away now to order, and that should now go down the line to marshalling.
It's important to use the proper walkways when crossing the conveyor system. Electronic sensors monitor the progress of pallets around the warehouse, and breaking one of these beams will cause a computer error. In an emergency, the track can be stopped by hitting one of the many red stop buttons. Next to the picking area is the accessories area.
The accessory side of it is slightly different to the tools, whereas the tools we bring the product to the picker. On the accessories, we actually take the picker to the product.
Right. So you've got B331, that is your location. Right, so you go and find your location. And they're all in numerical order. 1 is the bottom level, 2 is the second level, 3, third level. Right. That would be 1 packet in there, right? And you just put it in. A2310, A2310 for 1. That's it, and you sign it, and off it goes. And you do that all the way along. You each have a section to do it in. If it's too heavy, then we ask another girl to help us.
From day 1, when we get a new starter, we actually show them a book. And in this book, it tells you first aid, where to find them. We will show them all the fire exits. and what to do in an emergency. We do not smoke in the warehouse because of cling film, combustible, etc. We have a tea room set aside, we have a driver's room set aside for smokers.
After picking in the tool and accessory bays, the orders are sent to the marshalling area.
Well, the pallet comes down the line and it's got a ticket on it with the appropriate depot. Tells you the quantity, the product and which depot it's going to. So you have to take the ticket off, check it off on the clipboard and put the ticket on so that the truck driver knows which loading bay to put it on. Well, this is the end of the line. You've got the man at the end of the line here who's got responsible for where everything goes. If that's been picked wrong, if the wrong product goes out, they're going to have the wrong stuff, aren't they? Or if it goes to the wrong depot, you've got to make sure it's going to the right depot and it's the right product and the right quantity.
You wouldn't like to get the wrong product. So we need to try and make sure that everything that goes out of here goes to the right place, the right vehicle, the right customer, the right voltage, and the guy on the other end, the drivers, etc., all know exactly, and we train them as well, know exactly what our product is and deliver it to the customer.
Whilst taking care and pride in your work is vital to getting it right, Black & Decker realises that it too has responsibilities.
Traditionally, warehousing is seen as the back end of industry, and therefore that's how much money is actually spent on it. Traditionally, the cold, the damp, the wet, the poorly lit. Here we had the opportunity to create an environment which was warm, it was friendly, it was light, and also because of the automation, what we've tried to do is actually use the automation to bring the product to the people rather than ask the people to go to the product.
The most important asset in this company is its people, and therefore what we've got to try and do is look after the people. If looking after the people is good communication or whatever, that is exactly what we'll do. It may be not just communication, it may be the environment. So what we've got to do is get everybody to feel part of the team.
As a company, we have 4 objectives. Customer satisfaction, we want to be the best supplier of power tools. Employee satisfaction, our employees are seen as our biggest asset, and we want to make sure that they can grow within the job. Gaining market share, also make profit. I think we're a long way down the line to get it right. Yes, I believe that our customers are happy with our service. I mean, there is always room for improvement, but I believe that we are number one in the power tool business, both in the quality and certainly the distribution of it.
Myself, personally speaking, I started here as an agency temp, and I was quite amazed at it because my only experience of warehousing before was when I was a lorry driver, and normally they were, well, more often than not, cold, damp, dirty floors, no tea room. I was quite amazed when I walked in here, to be quite honest. It's good working conditions.
They've got a nice warm warehouse, good company, good pension scheme, reasonably well paid, uniforms, generally a good firm to work for.
I think it's a good place to work for. You know, you don't get up in the morning and think, oh God, I've got to go to work, sort of thing, you know. I've got to go there again. I think they treat you as people here rather than just the workforce.
It's a pretty good company to work for. There's lots of benefits. We've got a canteen, very important. We have plenty of restrooms. It's a clean environment. Safety-wise, it's second to none, really.